Hello and welcome to PODitup, brought to you by TechItup Middle East. My name is Chris and I'm your host for today. As we had promised in our last announcement that we will be making some new announcements, well, here it is. Today is the day when we release our first of the many podcast episodes that we will be doing for you lovely people. And this is just another step for us forward to bringing people closer to technology and for meaningful conversations with inspiring leaders, personalities that you definitely want to hear from. And one is sitting right here on the screen with me. We may all agree that firsts are always special, and so is our first guest for our first podcast, Power Women, Code and Courage. A strong, warm personality. She is a multicultural, multilingual, award winning marketing and communications expert, and now a founder of her own communications consultancy, a strong advocate of inclusivity and diversity, and a strong supporter of women empowerment led initiatives. And most of all, a great human being. So let's welcome our first guest to the first episode, Power Women, Code and Courage. Hi, Mareva.
Hi everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great as well. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining us on this first episode of our podcast. I just want to introduce you to what segments we have. We have five segments. The first segment will be about your, early days. I mean, a younger Mariva. The second segment will be about your early career choices and how you started working. The third segment will be a bit of fun, where we get to know you more personally. The fourth segment is going to be about your life as before becoming a founder and most of your professional life. And then the fifth segment would be about what's next for you and what's next for us from you. So I think without any further delay, we should get going. And to start off with, Mariva, we want to take you down the memory lane. Go back a few years and tell us about your early days. How was a younger Mariva, and what can you share with us today?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me and having me as the first participant to this podcast. I'm truly honored. Early days actually were as a student, I was definitely not the brightest or the one destined to do long studies, etc. I was quite average, and I had potential according to teachers, but I had a tendency of choosing, the classes that I preferred and be performing in those ones, and I mean slacking in others. And until I was, in my second high school, and after I actually failed my high school diploma for one point, the first time I didn't realize my potential, and obviously I can first only hold myself accountable, maybe the lack of maturity also at the time, the lack of confidence, but definitely the environment as well, having been brought up in a popular neighborhood where obviously lack of resources, almost a journey traced for yourself where you have to fit in a cell, etc. So for you to think outside that box and you could do other things and do more is definitely not a natural thing. But when I did graduate from high school diploma the second time with honors, everything changed. Right, I saw the new possibilities, a window opening, and that's why I'm always very vocal about mentorship, sharing one's journey with others, giving back, especially to people that have less access, and people that might come from neighborhoods with prejudices. And then I entered business school, and I started to see a life of excitement and possibilities for myself. So I did study in a French American business school, started my studies here, and finished my bachelor's degree in the United States of America, and simultaneously got my master's degree in France. And started my career in New York.
Okay, and for someone who said that in your younger days, you there was lack of confidence, and to from
Yeah.
there to go and get your masters done from US New York is commendable. Yeah.
You. Yeah, I did get that one with honors as well. And but again, it was the mindset that changed. It was believing that I could do it because actually people around me believed in me more than I did believe in myself in my early days. Which now that I look back is a very interesting dynamic. But obviously, as I grew up and started to get successful in my studies, I understood I could do it just like anyone else. Maybe it would take a bit more work. But also finding a job as an international student in the United States was very challenging. Only a few do manage to do it every year, and I was very pleased to be one of those and actually get that first experience there.
Well, you've done great. We all can see that. Um, After your higher education, tell us about your early career choices. Probably your first job, the country, the challenges that it came with, of course. If you can share that.
Like most people, I did start working at 14 years old, doing small jobs, and I think a lot of us have done this. And through the years, obviously, to help pay for my studies, etc. So that's a no-brainer. So we're not going to talk about that first experience as such. But like I said, besides my internship in different countries during business school, my first real job was in the heart of Manhattan, and I did graduate with a bachelor's degree in management and marketing and a master's degree in international business. But I was really obsessed with getting a first job within a marketing department, but it did not happen. I actually found a job in inside sales, and I was quite gutted. It turned out to be the best thing that happened to me because it shaped me the way of, going away of beyond that salespeople, have to, especially when you're only over the phone and then you have to do 140 calls a day. You have to call people, sell platforms in a language that's not yours, in regions that you don't know. Because I was selling to Northern America, so US, Canada, and South America because I speak Spanish, and then also Southeast Asia, which I didn't have a lot of knowledge about at the time. So the conclusion here is sometimes you have to step away from what you think is the ideal path. There's no such thing. And sometimes detours, step backs will actually push you further, and you will only understand maybe 10 years later what this happened and what skill this brought you, basically.
Sure, absolutely. I will agree with you because, the first 8.5 years of my career, I was stuck in multiple roles in multiple industries, right? But sales was never a part of it. Business development was never a part of it. I started that only when I entered Dubai in 2014, and things changed since then, right? So 10 years of business development, marketing, but of course, all that, the journey of the 8.5 years in India that helped me, and it does shape you. So I agree that there is nothing like an ideal career path. You got to choose it, and what works for you. I think that works for everybody around you as well.
Absolutely.
Great. Tell us about your motivation. What keeps you going? What kept you going from your younger days, and what keeps you going right now?
I think first is doing tasks that keeps me excited and then where I feel I can have an impact. So I think if we go back to my school days and how I was demotivated in class because I didn't feel seen and I pretty much felt useless or that it wouldn't make a difference, if I was being more attentive or so. And I think in my career, it matters when I was always looking for roles where I could really help the team and help the company, just not, cruise through. I just really wanted to thrive. Now, in my corporate career or in my role now as a founder of my own organization, it's also something I look for, definitely even more so now because of the sacrifices it takes to be an entrepreneur. So you do want to work on project that
Absolutely.
keeps you excited, where you feel that your team is being fulfilled and where you can measure an actual impact. So that's what motivates me. And then beyond this, obviously being able to have a comfortable situation to give back to my family, my friends, the people around me. And I'm super grateful that I was able to do that through the years. That was definitely a very important factor to me.
Great. Thank you so much. We will come back to this question again in our last segment because there I'm going to be asking you about what's next. So I'm sure something motivated you to go there, you know. So we will come back to this point again. Now we let's go to the third segment where we get to know you personally a bit more. I'm going to give you two options for each question.
Okay.
You just got to choose one of them. It's this or that. Yeah.
Okay.
So for Mareva, is it beaches or mountains?
I think you need to know the answers to this, knowing me personally. It's definitely mountains, cold landscape, despite the way I look and where I live, which is in Dubai. I'm definitely a snowy person.
Coffee or tea?
Don't drink coffee, so that would have to be tea.
Emails or phone calls? Like with your
That's a
work,
tough one.
yeah, with your work. I mean,
Sorry?
with your work, what works best for you? Emails or phone calls?
Interesting question. I'll still choose phone calls because of the way that I establish relationship. They'll be short and sweet, but that human connection still matters, and especially in our region.
Are you a early bird or a night owl?
I am both, but my because I don't have a choice, but my brain works best at night, so I'd say at night owl.
Trust me, even my brain works best at night.
I know.
The whole world is sleeping, 3 o'clock, I'm wide awake. Yeah, I don't know why
Yeah.
that happens, but yeah, that's how it is. Okay, city life or country life?
Can we say country life within the reach of a city?
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
so I'll choose for this age and days, I'll choose city life.
city life. Yeah, okay. Books or movies?
Books.
Winter or summer? I think I know the answer for this.
A winter, yeah.
Winter. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
I still love
There's actually snow.
Dubai.
There's actually snowing in Dubai now. You know.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's what we are in August and it's snowing here. Right. So
I
yeah,
should come back. I
you
should come
should
back
come back. You should
sooner.
come back from your remote work where I think you're in France right now. You're working
I
remotely.
am working from
Yeah,
France
you're
right
in
now,
your own
yeah.
country. So yeah, Dubai is calling you. Okay. Now we come to our fourth segment where we talk about, your most of your professional journey, probably after you moved to Dubai or before Dubai, but, the major chunk of your professional journey. So tell us about your professional life before you chose entrepreneurship.
So my corporate journey took me, as I mentioned before, from New York back to France, to the United Kingdom. I loved my life in London for 5 years, and then back here to the United Arab Emirates. I've also, through the roles that I've had, spent a lot of time in Germany and Switzerland, especially Switzerland. So I'm consider myself that I've almost lived there because I'm from Lyon in France, and we're anyway very close to the border,
Yeah.
and I'm there a lot. So this international scope, right, is something that's also shaped me, and I always encourage, especially youth, to have international experience, to go out there, try to learn other languages. It makes a difference in your learning and in advancing a career. Absolutely randomly, almost 8 years ago, I fell into the tech industry, and that's one of the best things that happened to me. I've always been kind of a geek. If there was something to fix in the home, the uncles, dad, would call me. So I fell into that, starting with the hardware side, working for a global leader, and also had a gaming brand. So handling both of those hats were an amazing experience. Was an amazing experience, and then moved to the cybersecurity side, which also was a very intense experience. Helped me grow tremendously. But as in every career, things happen. It's high and lows, and And definitely, having to travel a lot, having so many activities can take a toll. And I had decided a long time ago that when the opportunity will come, I will try to do my own thing. The opportunity came quicker than expecting. Sometimes, you're pushed into a direction, and the only solution that you have is, to get back up. And that's what I did. And that's why I launched my company.
Well, that's great. I know that you've been working on a lot of women empowerment led initiatives with different organizations. Something might have led you to, start working on them. And you've been mentoring as well from a very, very long time. You mentioned that in your first answer as well. What kind of challenges do women face at the workplace?
Yeah, the woman, the most, unfortunately and basic, harassment is one thing that's very common for women to go through. Also, that glass ceiling is real, right? Obviously, the higher up you go, the less women you'll see. And that causes another issue to me, and I'm always very vocal about this. I don't like to make things a man against woman situation. I like to be inclusive. There's a reality of certain men behaving a certain way, and they need to be, put on spot, right? People need to team up against toxic male leaders like this. However, I always want to also kind of cast a stone on the fact that a lot of women are part of the issue because of the fear of missing out, because of the lack of roles. The higher up you go, they're actually often the one that are going to mistreat other women, and that's always been something that been trying to fight against. So it's about also holding ourselves accountable, as women, and being the support that we need to be for others. In my previous role, in the last role before I launched this company, and this, I helped launch an internal program called Cyber Diversity, to help advance women, but not only, I would say groups of minorities, etc. It's important to actually have measurable impact. What a lot of company and individuals do is talk about this thing, which is a great first step, but we're lacking the second step, which is actually what are you doing and what is the proof that what you're doing is actually making a difference. So that's taking me to the platform that I've been, working on and planning to launch. That's called Dive In. And the role of this platform will be to help companies and individual, hold themselves accountable and have a tracking of what they're actually doing, either from a mentorship standpoint. And as you said, it's something I've been doing a lot. And, you don't have to promote the things you do behind the scenes, but I think for people, it can help them really putting, their investment where it should be, and it's taking me to the next step about funding, especially for startup. It's something even I lived through because I'm self-funded, and I wish I would have had support. So these are the things that I'm working on at the moment, and more to come soon.
Great, thank you so much. Well, I agree with you. It's not just the men supporting women part, but women supporting women is also important, and that can be a bigger part of the issue. No, I mean I wouldn't say support, just work together. I mean, team up. That's the right word. Yeah, team up. Yeah,
Or
great.
say something, or reach ahead and get out of this toxicity of thinking, or she wants my job, or she's a threat to me. No, see people for who they are. If they're on your team, like elevate them, because you'll be stronger for it, right? And let's change that narrative. Let's actually change things and get out of this fear zone to be in a positive dynamics, etc. So that's my hope for the future.
Well, we hope things change for the good, of course. Tell us about Marevak Consulting. What does the company do, and what plans do you have for the rest of the year?
Well, to finish the year would be a first one, like any
I agree.
entrepreneur.
I agree.
No, no, joke aside, I mean, we're on year two, right? So The plan is to continue to grow. I mean, it started like last year as a solopreneur. Now I have a team, and to continue to have more clients. So, and to diversify, because most clients that we have are in the innovation technology sector or social impact, and I also want to help organization in other fields. Because in my career, I've had the chance to work in multiple industries as well. So we help with anything that's strategic marketing, communications, PR, events, and the diving platform would just be a side project and an extension that we do, holding ourselves accountable for the help we provide to the people in the communities, and then making sure that others do also hold themselves accountable and bring impact to those with less access.
Okay, so on the Dive-In initiative, you
Mhm.
mentioned about it a couple of times, but
Yeah.
can you segregate them in terms of this is not just an initiative to support women, is it? Is
No.
yes. So can,
No.
can you
Um, Sure. Probably I wasn't, clear on this. And thank you for letting me clarify. So, Dive-In is a platform that will be dedicated to mentorship and then to funding of project
okay?
within the communities. So it's for the communities by the communities, and then there will be several pillars that we focus on. One of them will be, being a multicultural person. Obviously, I'm French, from African, Arab, and French descent. It's very important for me to support, obviously, the African community and the relationship between, Africa and the Middle East. But then also the dynamics with where we are with Asia is as important, and all the Asian friends that I have. And then the Middle Eastern, women are so inspiring and been doing so much for the last 10 years to also continue to bring them the support. So these will be, in terms of women, the three categories that we'll focus on as well. We'll focus on first. And then as well, we'll do a focus on youth and focusing on men, mental health. I see a lot of initiative in the region around that. Some announcement recently. I think it's important. But again, our platform is has for goal to support other projects. Right? We want to be that shoulder and give the limelight to all those other projects working on the pillars that I just mentioned.
Great. I think this is something which is much needed at this point of time, and good of you that you're not just thinking about women empowerment led initiatives. You are talking about men empowerment as well, mental health as well. I mean, this is something which is needed. It does not come out much, but yeah, I'm sure you will get all the support when Dive-In starts and kicks in. I think this is going to be big, and we want to wish you all the best for it, Mareva.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's see. The most important thing is that it truly helps people and make a difference, right? So we'll see what 2025 brings.
It will bring everything good. All the best.
Thank you, inshallah.
Last segment where you gave a message to a lot of aspiring women. There's a lot of outside noise when it comes to the workplace, at home, etc. But what advice would you want to give them to unplug the outside noise and just keep moving forward?
Absolutely. Well, what you just said is very important. To So not only unplug the noise, but I would say when faced with a challenging situation, to not let it affect you. I know it's very easy to say, but I've been there. The first thing is to trying to find support and collect proof if a situation is really, going south. And then trying obviously to fight it the right way, right? To really keep your standards while doing it, etc. But then if a situation becomes too toxic, I cannot even stress enough how, even though it might be unfair, you need to remove yourself from the equation, because your energy, your time, your health, physical and mental, are the most valuable assets that you have. And it's a mistake that I've made, staying in situations or in position where I should have left way earlier than I did. So that's first. But then the second, again, coming back to this woman, tribe situation, it's up to each of us to really elevate the next one, and also just be support. And if you see something, and that's for any gender out there, say something. Don't stay silent. Too many times people remain silent when they can make a difference together. So that's the advice I would give. And then ultimately, believe in yourself, go after the opportunities, make the mistakes. It's okay. It will shape you. You will grow. I make mistakes every single day. What changes and what has changed is how I react to them, because then, you're more mature, you get to be a different way, but that's okay to fail, and it's definitely okay to try.
Great. I think speak up is, the keyword that I got from your what you just told us. Speaking up, taking initiative, going out there and expressing yourself. I think that's what's required.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Mariva. That actually concludes our session. I'm sure this is not just one episode that we are doing with you. There will be many more when you
Sure.
launch Dive In as well. There will be many more coming up. So thank you so much for your time. It was great to have a conversation with you, understanding about your early days, understanding about your professional life, and your motivation to become an entrepreneur. And then after becoming an entrepreneur, you're not stopped. You are doing that, and you are also working on initiatives that will make a difference. So thank you so much for your time. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, appreciate, and take care, and take care, everyone.
Thank you so much. So that was Mareva Koulamallah, the founder of Marevak Consulting. You heard from her about her early life, her professional life, her initiatives, the initiatives that she's working on, things that will be making a difference. Let's wish her all the best for the Dive-In platform that launches soon. And I'm sure it's going to make a lot of noise when it launches. So take care of yourself until next time, and do not forget to take it up. Thank you.